Welcome to episode 4 of the Business News Podcast.
We're live here on location in a conference room.
Real deal, Zach and
Adam. Why'd you say real deal?
I don't know.
It is the real deal.
It's more real than a fake deal.
It's the real thing. So, if you've never listened to this podcast before, how many plays did we get on the last podcast, by the way?
6.
Dang it, we're going down.
We got a couple more on the previous one.
All right, that's cool. So we're going down. We're depending on you 6 listeners to spread the word about the Business News Podcast, where you will get the most hard-hitting, timely, riveting, thought-provoking, cutting edge.
Yeah, listen
news.
in every week and you'll get these adjectives.
Yeah, and if you're a business person or if you're interested in business and you want to know what's going on out there in the market and in the world, and you want to get the commentary that will help you make sense of the craziness that's out there in the news, this is the podcast to listen to.
We'll help you come to terms with it.
Tune in every week. A new one comes out every week. Maybe you consider following us or subscribing to the podcast on iTunes or Anchor FM or what are the other ones? On Spotify. Spotify's a big deal.
Seriously consider it.
Seriously consider it. All right, so we're going to get right into it. We got 5 news articles curated by Zach Nelson, and he picks some pretty good articles. They're really interesting every week. You know there's going to be something coronavirus related in here.
For now, at least.
I can't go anywhere with somebody bringing up the coronavirus.
It's the hot topic.
Is it super dangerous?
For 60 and over.
For 60 and over. So that's pretty dangerous. There's a lot of 60 and over people.
Yeah.
But for people 60 and under, totally not a big deal.
No. Just the fact that you could spread it to the 60 and over.
So really, it's all about keeping these 60-year-olds
it's keeping
and
the
older
elderly
safe. So do we all need to stay home, or do we all just need to stay away from elderly people? It seems like they should. It doesn't feel like they should quarantine everybody. If the people who are in most danger are the older folks. The curious thing is, I don't know if this is politically incorrect, a lot of older folks already live in senior housing. So they already got sort of a quasi-quarantine happening. We just bring the food. You don't want to comment on this? We just bring the food to the seniors there, and they got ping pong and shuffleboard and all that kind of stuff in there.
But somebody still has to bring the stuff.
We can't just leave it outside, and then they just come out and get it?
What do you mean, like push it under the door?
Yeah, just leave it on their porch or whatever, and then they can come out and grab the food and take it back into their house. We can figure it out.
But what about the people that need, like, nursing and stuff like that?
Well, the nurses are going to that's a good point.
But they'll have to just stay disinfected.
So the people so you just have to test the people that are going to be around the old people so the old people don't get it, right? Because it's not that, it doesn't really matter if the old people give it to the young people. Yeah. All right.
You'd think.
Something like that?
You'd think that would work.
I think we could figure it out. All right. So what's our first news article?
First hard hitter is coronavirus fears making shoppers erratic in the state of Washington. Businesses already seeing sharp declines. A lot of this article talking about the dude that owns the Pike Place Fish Market.
Okay.
And he's like, do I look worried to you? He's like, my dudes are still throwing fish.
Is fish have coronavirus in it?
Who knows? I guess they're dead, so...
Yeah, they're probably fine.
They're fine. They're not going to get sick from it.
No. I like those fish market guys. Those guys are studs, huh?
Yeah.
Have you been down there to watch them throw fish before? Okay.
Yeah.
So I talked to my dad this morning. I talked to my dad on the way in. He follows the news. He follows the stock market. I think it said in that article something about there's a big plunge in the stock market as well.
Crash yesterday, massive something or other.
So people seem real worried about the coronavirus thing, but I kind of get the sense that all this worry is a little overblown. Am I wrong about that?
Yes, but I think it's worth it because if people weren't worried about it, then everybody would just do their thing and it would spread like wildfire.
That's a good
call. Even though it has spread like wildfire in a way.
Yeah. But the actual so for example, I know during flu season, a ton of people get the flu.
That's true.
We all know about the flu. The flu's a well-known.
There's like 50,000.
The well-known
people
thing.
That die from it a year.
50,000 people die from it. So, even though people know about it, everybody still gets it. So there's a lot of parallels. Probably just because coronavirus is new, it's something very spooky. But I remember going to the emergency room with the flu this last flu season. And they literally had no flu medicine. And I went and talked to the doctor. And the doctor's like, yeah, you don't need the medicine. You'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
Just sleep it off.
Yeah.
And it sounds like sleeping it off is probably the cure for the coronavirus as well.
Yeah, I mean there is no cure, only whatever things for the symptoms.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right.
That's
So
as far as you
and
get.
letting it run its course. But older people do need to be careful. So that I guess that would be the difference. Although, I wonder what the statistics are of who the flu kills. Does the flu also mostly kill elderly people? Probably.
Yeah,
Of the people that die from the flu, it'd be interesting to know
mostly.
if it's older people
And then people with weakened immune systems or
die from the flu or die from the
heart
coronavirus.
disease, like pre-existing conditions, the virus will take them out.
Is that the flu or the coronavirus that you're
Both.
talking about? Both. So, I guess does the coronavirus spread much more rapidly than the flu, or is it because the coronavirus is a little bit sneaky? You don't know you have it.
That's I think.
Whereas the flu, you know you
I
got
think
it,
that's the difference.
and it like knocks you out so
Yeah.
bad that you're laid up and you just can't leave the bed. So this coronavirus is kind of sneaky. The virus itself.
Yeah, because you can have it for 14 days without even knowing you have it.
So that virus is slick, because it makes you a carrier, but you don't know you're sick.
Yeah.
Whereas the flu, if you have it, you know you got it because you feel like
Exactly.
you feel terrible and you won't leave your house. I have noticed that there's way less traffic in the street.
So much less traffic.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
I don't want to say, I don't want to sound like a coronavirus supporter, but I do appreciate how fast I'm able to come and go from the
I
office
heard
to
a
my
guy
house.
the other day. He's like, "Well, I guess we found the solution to the Seattle's traffic problem."
Dang. So even if here's what I'm trying to say. It would probably be good if the government. I'm just joking around, obviously. Would just make up a weird flu every once in a while. It's like, hey, everybody, especially during like rush hour traffic. Like, hey, everybody, we're getting a lot of reports that people with sicknesses are going to be congregating on the 405 at around 5:30 p.m. I'd steer clear of that because you might get sick.
There you go.
Especially old people and people who aren't carpooling. We've noticed that people with who are carpooling, there's a group immunity that keeps you from getting sick.
It targets.
Yeah,
It targets carpoolers.
No, non-carpoolers.
Oh, non-carpoolers.
Yeah, that gets less cars on the road. Because if you got 5 people in the car at once, then there's less.
Then there's no chance that it'll spread throughout the 5 of them.
No, there's a group immunity to the freeway virus. That's
There
what we're
you
gonna
go.
call it. It's called the freeway virus. People
I
get it
like
when
that.
they drive on the freeway. Anything else we need to know about this article? Who wrote it? What magazine?
USA Today. We've got Trevor Hughes. 3 people. It's like a little triad force.
This article wasn't that long. This didn't seem like it needed three authors, but
That's what happens at USA Today in 2020.
we got a video too, so that's good.
Yeah, Trevor Hughes, Jessica Guine,
One of those.
Elizabeth Wise.
There you go.
That's a good name for a reporter.
Yeah, I would like that. I would like. It's a good name to have. Be like Handsome, like Adam Handsome. What if your last name was just Handsome?
Although the problem is when somebody says Wheeze.
Wheeze. Same thing with Handsome. It could be like Hansom. People might not say it right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Basically, fewer yoga classes and haircuts. Fewer people going into town. Fewer Amazonians going in to get their local lunch
There you go.
downtown.
All right. So
Just
this doesn't exactly sound like the bubonic plague. During the bubonic plague, people everybody died from the bubonic plague. Didn't matter. Now we're just missing yoga
or
class.
like Spanish flu and all that jazz.
Yeah, Spanish flu. This is like a very 2020
Oh, you know what? Another tragic thing.
event. Yeah.
Starbucks won't fill your reusable cup anymore.
This whole virus is sort of like a very 2020 first world panic. Less yoga, less haircuts. Starbucks isn't refilling your cup. Like 18 people died.
Yeah, it's a rough world out there.
Yeah. So, anyways, if you're suffering from coronavirus, our heart is with you. Hopefully, you're gonna get better soon. Stay in your house. Don't go around old people. That's the key thing.
That's the trick.
Stay away from the old folks. Yep.
All right, so we got The First Cow, new movie.
This is a new movie?
It's coming out.
It's called First Cow.
2 men try to start a business using stolen milk.
That's the premise of the movie?
That is the premise.
Okay.
So the idea is back on the olden days when there was like Oregon, the whole discovering the West thing.
Okay.
You've got the first cow that comes to Oregon.
Huh.
This dude, obviously, first guy to have milk. This guy, he's like, you know how to make good muffins, and I know how to steal milk.
Okay.
So he steals the milk. They make like the best muffins on the West Coast.
Okay. Then when did they get caught?
No.
They never got caught?
I don't know. I haven't seen the movie.
Did they start buying their own milk at some point? You haven't seen the movie.
I don't think it's even out.
But this all takes place.
The point is I mean, what a crazy. So kind of like the moral of the story is like about the American dream, and that most of people, I guess, to achieve the American dream do some like stuff that isn't exactly legal.
Okay. I don't agree with that. That I don't agree with, but it sounds like an interesting movie. Muffins are good. I like muffins. So I guess the only way to really steal milk is to go on a dude's farm when he's not around.
Milk the cow.
And milk the cow?
So I'm not totally sure. Maybe this guy works there already,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, I'm just going to siphon some. We're going to make
Oh,
muffins.
okay.
And it's going to be a crazy...
Yeah, so I'm going to take issue with the idea that most businesses that end up being successful have some dishonesty or thievery at their founding.
Thievery.
I don't think that's true.
I do like that word, though.
Thievery? Yeah, it's
It's,
not, yeah, so it sounds like kind of a sneaky word. Yeah, thievery.
It's kind of like the coronavirus.
I feel like stealing cow's milk is a high risk theft activity because if you just break into someone's house, you go in, you grab whatever they got, and then you take off. You're kind of in and out.
You're just gonna sit there milking the cow.
You got to get them there for like to get enough milk from the cow to be able to make enough muffins to have a legit muffin business. You need a bunch of milk.
Yeah.
I feel like it might be better to just go buy the milk. Honestly, I think the amount of time that you invest in stealing the milk.
But it
probably,
was the only cow on the entire Oregon.
So if it was the only cow, then it probably wasn't his job, and he was siphoning off milk. If it was just the only cow, whoever owned that cow is probably not hiring a dude to come milk that cow for him.
Milk the cow.
If it's just a regular farmer who just set up shop, I doubt he has employees. So that means this guy legitimately did come over and milk that cow in off hours. And then when the farmer came out to get the milk and the udders are empty, doesn't he get suspicious super fast?
You would think.
Another thing, also interesting to know that they had muffins back in the Oregon Trail days, because I don't know if you remember learning about the Oregon Trail in school and the Donner Party. That was pretty bleak. A lot of people died, and there was cannibalism, and this was like real deal things to be scared of.
This was like
People froze to death.
Pre-Wild West. Like, this was the Wild West before the Wild West was the Wild West.
Yeah,
Before the saloon swinging doors and all that.
People weren't even out there yet. So I'm a little curious about the timing, because was there a market for muffins out in the pre-Wild West?
I guess so,
West?
because it was successful. I mean, this is a real thing. So anyways, we got to see this movie.
So the muffin thing is a funny thing, because I imagine those times as being pretty bleak. People are literally freezing to death, yet they have muffins. And muffins is like a very happy food, you know? Anytime you eat a muffin, it's delightful. That would be the word, don't you think? You take the little, I wonder if they had the little muffin tin wrappers. Probably not.
I highly doubt it.
And how did they cook them? Just all over an open flame?
Who knows?
I want to know how they cooked muffins in the Oregon Trail days.
I don't know. Anyways, this is going to be movie of the year.
I'm probably not going to see it. If you check it out, report back on this podcast.
I'm going to be reporting
what you learned about. All right, let's hear about it.
For all I know, they were probably biscuits.
They probably, and they just called them muffins for some reason?
I don't know.
All right.
So here's the next one. A high school student created a fake 2020 candidate. Twitter verified it. So Twitter verifies, they put a little check mark. That's what Facebook's been doing.
Okay.
Basically, they check them out. They say they're a legit candidate.
And that means, what does that mean? They're real. When they say they're legit, does that mean they're a real person?
Yeah.
Okay. And how do you know?
Like, they're actually candidates.
And do you know how the verification process works? Apparently, it does not work well.
It doesn't work well. 17-year-old. I'm not exactly sure how it works here, actually.
How the verification works?
Yeah, I think that's kind of where the issue lies. That's how this 17-year-old is able to make a fake. And he got the picture for the candidate on this website that just AI generates this random face.
Cool. I like that. I like this kid.
Yeah.
To me, the kid's a go-getter. Making up a fake candidate like that, it's better than just sitting around doing nothing. I remember once I heard an interview with the CEO of Twitter. I forget his name. Jack something.
Daniels?
I don't think it's Jack Daniels. No. That guy's the CEO of the Jack Daniels company.
Oh. That makes a lot more sense.
So
now.
what they were talking to him about was Twitter's banishment policy or something. There was a time when a bunch of right-wing Republicans thought that Twitter was discriminating against them and was kicking them off of the platform they thought it was for like, political bias. They thought they just didn't like their positions, like maybe they were talking about guns rights. Mm-hmm. And they thought that the Twitter guys were left-leaning Democrats, and they thought that they were kicking them off the platform for political reasons rather than any true violations of the use policies. Mm-hmm. And they were interviewing that guy, and he was a pretty interesting guy. It was pretty thought-provoking. But one of the things he was saying was, we have hundreds and hundreds of millions of users on Twitter. There's so many postings. And then you take 100 million or well, maybe they got 1 billion. I mean, there's tons of people that use Twitter. And then you take that and you multiply it by the number of postings that there are every day. There is an insane amount of information going on inside the Twitter sphere. And it's pretty hard for them to do a detailed study of every single case. And as a result, I think they used a lot of AI, and they have a lot of programs that are trying to detect stuff that's happening. Mm-hmm. And probably that's what happens here.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So I like that. I want to make up a candidate. That high school student.
Well, they're gonna change their
algorithm.
Yeah, I mean, because this is a major.
It's a breach.
Law. It's a breach.
It's a breach.
There you go. That's a good word.
It's a breach. So, how come we can't just have regular people run for president? Answer me this. Answer me, Zach. I don't know. I don't answer what. How come a regular dude can't be the president? Not enough money?
I mean, why? Yeah, I guess why not? I mean, I don't know if you can get your name out there because you need the money to get your name out there.
Yeah, that's true.
For advertising.
Yeah, so it takes a tremendous amount of money. But I think the guys like Bernie Sanders, for example, I don't think that guy himself has a lot of money, but he gets a lot of campaign contributions, and he's been around a long time.
Yeah, so I think you just gotta. I mean, if you were a regular dude and somehow you were able to just get your name everywhere, and you told people you were gonna build a chocolate fountain in every town, then I'm sure people would be okay, that's pretty cool. I like the chocolate fountain.
You have to do something outrageous for things to go viral.
There you go.
And also, if you notice, all the presidential candidates are super old guys. Are we not worried about the coronavirus taking out one of these super old? I think all in their 70s.
It's true.
I think all of the presidential candidates are in their 70s. They're all bald, like have terrible hair. I would probably fit right in there because my hair is also leaving me and always has been pretty terrible. So another thing with these candidates is I think they just have been around a long time.
They've been
around. That helps you get your name out. But I talked to my dad about politics. I'm really apolitical. I don't get into it one way or the other. But the only reason I will watch is because there is some entertainment value of just watching dudes spout off and say crazy things. And he was telling me the leader in the Democratic Party, Joe Biden, is essentially senile. Like the dude says stuff that doesn't make any sense. When he can't complete sentences, he forgets what he's talking about. He tries to make a point by citing data, and then his citations are totally wrong. And he's the guy that's leading. He's probably going to be the Democratic candidate. Wouldn't a regular dude who's just sharp, a plumber or something, but who's sharp mentally? Plumbers solve problems. They got to go out. They got to diagnose the situation. They're smart, man, they're really hardworking. A lot of them have employees, so they can run a little organization. Wouldn't a plumber be better than a senile, experienced politician? What are your thoughts on that, Zach?
I mean, at least he could fix the plumbing issues.
Think about that. What if we had a nationwide policy of bringing good plumbing to every household?
A surgeon general, you have a plumbing general.
I like that.
Electrician general. You've got
we're installing a low flow toilet in every single household.
Masonry general. Bring back the Masons.
And so just have a bunch of blue collar cabinet positions.
There you go.
Yeah, the secretary in charge of asphalt paving your driveway.
Asphalt.
Yeah.
General.
Yeah, the secretary general. What's some other ones? Yeah, I like carpentry. Let us not forget cabinets.
Rat extermination.
I think we could spend our money a lot more profitably redoing. What if we did a kitchen remod in every single house?
Kitchen remodel general.
Because plumbers know all kinds of contractors. You talk to your plumber, he'll hook you up with drywall specialist. He's going to hook you up with a carpenter. He's going to hook you up with a general contractor. Our plumber recommended somebody to do landscaping for us.
There you go.
Plumbers are valuable.
They've got the connections.
If I talk to Joe Biden, who is he going to tell me about? He doesn't even know. He's like I said, he's a little bit senile. You start to talk to him about what you need. You're asking him for a general contractor. He might send you to a law firm. He might send you to he might send you to a restaurant. He's not even really in the game. He doesn't even really know what's going on. So I would like to see a regular dude take a shot at being a president, and I'm thinking in particular about plumbers. I like that quite a lot.
You could do like a GoFundMe kind of thing.
Again, I wonder if a plumber, the only thing is, for example, he has to get up in the debates against Trump. And Trump is a tough debater because he makes fun of you.
There you go.
Did you watch any of the highlights from when Trump was debating?
I mean, a little bit.
My dad was telling me the story about, for example, that he made a comment about Bloomberg when Bloomberg was, you know who Bloomberg is? He was one of the Democrat guys.
Technology.
He's way richer than Donald Trump. He's a more successful businessman than Donald Trump.
Really?
Whereas Donald Trump's worth like $3 billion, I think Bloomberg's worth like $20 billion or something.
Wow.
And Donald Trump did a tweet. He said, "Hey, I heard that Mike Bloomberg needs to stand on a stool during the debates because he's so short." and then Bloomberg responded. He's like, "That's not true. I didn't have to stand. He didn't realize it was a joke." So he responded seriously. So that's the hard thing. And if you're a plumber, I'm pretty sure Trump would be all over you.
The coin slot jokes.
Yeah, just talking about dealing in feces and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, he probably had.
It'd be rough.
Yeah, he'd be all over you. All right, so what else do we have in this article about this high school student? Anything else that we need to know about?
So apparently, real candidates are in complete outrage
over this.
Over the fact that there was a fake candidate allowed. They feel personally attacked.
Oh, is that true? Which guy is attacked? Which guy felt that way? Do you know?
Peters.
All right, I don't know who Peters is, but Peters, you're soft, man. How are you gonna be? People get offended so easily. People get outraged so easily.
He says, when you're asking for money online and you want to put forth the best effort you can when you're running a campaign, every little thing matters.
Right. I don't buy into that. Twitter is just a place where people post stuff. You can't get mad at Twitter. You can't be upset with Twitter.
It's just the platform.
I know, it's just a platform. Take it easy. And actually, the guy is not really running, so he's not really competition. Was he asking for money? Is that what the issue is? He was taking donations?
Yeah, I don't think he did.
He didn't take any?
No.
So if the kid was taking donations fraudulently, then I got a beef with that. And I take back all the other stuff I said about him.
He wasn't.
Okay, then
He just created the dude, which is like, it's just a given that you're going to ask for money if you're a politician.
Yeah, but there wasn't a place to actually accept donations or anything. You probably don't know.
No, because that would be illegal, right?
Yeah. So, Peters, if you're listening to this podcast, come on, man. Quit griping. Don't be soft. It's just a practical joke. It's not something worth getting totally bent out of shape about.
So, we got Rebecca Harrington here, our local Business Insider.
We didn't see who wrote that last article, but it doesn't matter. All right. Business Insider. Give it to me.
Jeff Bezos.
I know that guy. I know who that guy is. I don't know him personally, but I know who he is.
All right, well, we got that much. Says he's giving $10 billion. $10 billion.
That's a lot. That's a fair amount.
Which is only 7.7% of his net worth.
So that makes him worth. So he's worth. Dang, he's worth like $100 billion.
That's pretty good.
He's worth over $100 billion.
Over $100 billion.
Yep. Okay.
That's some sound math.
I don't know. It's not exactly right, but 10 times 10 would be $100 billion.
Yeah.
So if it was 10, so it's over $100 billion.
At least $100 billion.
Yeah.
So he's trying to fight climate change with this $10 billion.
That seems like a good thing to do. You know what I like about Jeff Bezos? He's got that shaved head. And then also in this picture, he's doing like
He is totally.
he's
shaded.
doing the rich dude thumbs up.
He's got a thumbs up.
So the regular guy thumbs up is like an extended thumb, right? Hey, thumbs up, man. The rich dude thumbs up is it's kind of tucked in. It's kind of like how politicians do.
It's like
He's giving
like
the rich dude thumbs up's like, yeah. I don't really care. There you go. Like, here's an actual thumbs up.
He is. Look at him.
And he's got the head mic on. Have you ever worn one of those head mics? Have you ever had a reason to wear one of those?
No,
Oh, he doesn't have a head mic on.
He has a lavalier.
Oh, he's got a lavalier. All right. I like that.
Which I have put on.
And it worked? It projected your voice correctly?
It did not.
No.
No.
It was
yours.
It was for filming a video. He looks like he's giving a talk in front of a bunch of people here. And the lavalier is like his actual microphone.
I don't think this is him talking about climate change. The climate change was just an Instagram post.
Yeah. But this is
just him doing his thing.
A stock picture. But it looks like in this picture he's giving a talk somewhere.
He is.
Because otherwise he wouldn't be standing up giving the rich dude thumbs up. Climate change. Where do you stand on climate change? What do you think about it?
I mean, it's a good thing to do. I mean, we live on this planet. Why not try and take care of it?
Yeah, but a lot of people, for example, say that climate change isn't real. Where do you stand on that?
Isn't real? Are you kidding me?
Or
Every
they say,
time you drive a car, you're like,
or they say it's not, man-made. They say I've heard a lot of people argue that the vast majority of what we call climate change happens due to natural weather cycles, and what humans do don't have as big an impact as we think it does on the overall pattern of climate.
sounds to me like dairy farmers and fossil fuelers trying to make some more money.
Do you think so? Yeah. So all the really legit scientists, it sounds like, or the vast majority of legit scientists, corroborate, if I may use that word.
Wow,
corroborate that.
I'm gonna need like 15 minutes to
that
get over
man
that word.
caused climate change is the real deal. I don't know so what are the things he's going to do with the 10 billion?
So basically, fund scientists, activists, NGOs, whatever those are.
Okay.
Any effort that offers a real possibility to preserve and protect the natural world.
That seems like a good thing to do. Yeah, I think that's a good investment. I know, again, a lot of real smart people. I'm not smart enough in this topic to know what humans do that actually causes climate change, but a lot of smart guys say that really is the most pressing threat facing humanity. That climate change is the thing that could actually wipe us out.
Yeah, like a big part of it is that humans create a lot of gases
I've heard that.
that heat up.
Yeah. I know,
And
yeah.
in a hotter environment, a hotter climate creates bigger storms and disasters.
I think that's part of it. I've also heard that the increasing temperature is melting the polar ice caps and it's causing the sea level to rise. Have you seen any videos about what's going on in Miami? You should check out some of these Miami videos. Miami Beach is flooding. The ocean is starting to overrun the beach and come into the city.
Yeah, they've been talking about that for years. That
that's actually
that Florida's toast.
Yeah, that's actually happening now. But the thing is that I wonder about, the Earth is so big and there's so many people.
Mm-hmm.
And there's huge countries in the developing world, China, India, Indonesia, where the people are just now starting to get into industrialization. So all the stuff that we've been doing over here in the United States to our country, we're only 300 million people. There's billions of people coming into the pipeline to pollute the earth, and they're totally going to, because they're humans just like we're humans. It's not like we're better humans than they are, or they're better than us. They're just people.
They're just people.
They want to consume. They want the easiest possible life.
They want to produce and they want to consume.
They want to produce. They want to consume. They're lazy. They just want to They just want to burn gas and drive because it's easy to do that. So, 10 billion sounds like a big number, and it is a real big number. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm not sure that 10 billion can turn the whole thing around.
Yeah.
Unless it's...
I don't think so. That's what he did say. He's committing 10 billion to start.
I wonder what has a better chance of succeeding. Supporting technology or educating. I almost feel like educating is the thing, because people need to be convinced to buy certain types of foods, to avoid certain types of activities. And they'll only do that if you could change their mindset and their principles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. You know what I do like about this though? It's giving money to people, so it'll give people jobs to do things that will improve the environment, rather than give more jobs to creating more gas.
Yeah. That's
Or
a good
plastic.
approach, and I like charity like that generally. That's sort of self-perpetuating.
Mm-hmm.
Give a man, what is it? Give a man to fish and leap for a day. Teach a man to fish.
Teach a man to fish.
Yeah, and he'll fish for the rest of his life. So if you're investing in technology, or if you're investing in businesses that are self-supporting, and you give people a chance to convert from one type of service that is bad for the environment over to a new type of service that is good for the environment, that's it's self-containing. Mm-hmm. It's self-sustaining. So that's a good way to go, rather than just buying people Teslas or something so that they won't drive gas cars anymore.
Very true.
It's a better way to go. And I just like anything Jeff Bezos does because of the shaved head. I just like to see that dude with his shaved head.
Great head.
Yeah. Although I think Bezos cheated on his wife as well. I remember
did.
reading about that. So this is one of sorry to make the but this is one of the things about human beings. Human beings are a mixed bag, dude. They got grand ideas, and they also do stuff that's questionable morally. And then a lot of people also are highly moral, highly principled, religious, upstanding citizens, but yet they burn fossil fuels and they eat junk. Like, they buy the worst food, which causes you to clear cut forests and put cows out there that put methane into the environment.
Mixed bag, that's for
People
sure.
are a mixed bag. So this is very noble what Jeff Bezos is doing. But also, there's also a book that said Jeff Bezos is really hard to work for. And I know a guy who works for Amazon. Do you? You know this guy. Do you know him? The Colombian guy? I forget his name.
I know.
His wife is
several.
Maria and their son is Simon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
He works for Amazon, and he says it just kills him. He has to work so hard. The people at Amazon drive their employees like really, really hard. Have you heard that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have.
So Amazon's cool. They bring you stuff in a van, which I like, same day that you ordered it. So that's all right. That saves you like 20 minutes from having to drive to the store and actually just buy that thing yourself. So that's sweet. But on the other hand, the people just get worked to the bone. So it's a mixed blessing, as are most things in life. Most blessings are mixed.
Yeah, and so he finishes it saying he's committing $10 billion to start. We'll begin issuing grants this summer. Earth is the one thing we all have in common. Let's protect it together.
I agree
But
with
basically, he's like, I'm putting my foot forward. You also need to put your foot forward.
I like that. It would be so again. Maybe with this 10 billion, what would be helpful for me is if someone would tell me what I should be doing. Because if you go online and Google, we need a definitive guide to protecting the Earth. Because if you go online and try to figure out what you're supposed to do to fight climate change, it's not very clear.
More mixed bags.
Am I supposed to stop eating beef? Or can I eat the sustained grass-grown beef? Am I supposed to be recycling? Does that actually help climate change? Should I stop heating my house with gas, but rather buy a wood-burning chimney? I don't know.
I don't know.
Do you know what you personally could do to help the battle in climate change?
Well, I know that going vegan would
help.
Would help.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna go vegan.
But what else?
Not
driving your car?
But that's not reasonable, is the
That's
thing.
the thing. So, like, what? If anybody watches this or listens to this, send us a chat or send us a text. Tell me, Jeff Bezos, spend your $10 million on creating the definitive guide for what regular people can do to fight climate change, so we can all know.
You go.
I don't think anybody knows what they are supposed to do. I know it's an issue.
Yeah, it's like one thing, because one thing, an article I read was, you'll actually do more for the environment if you stop drinking milk in your coffee every day than if you use a reusable cup.
There you go. We need a definitive guide to how a regular person can take care of the environment.
There you go.
Jeff Bezos, if you're listening, spend your $10 billion on that. Create the guide and distribute it, and then we'll all do what we got to do if we know what to do. Would you read that book?
Yeah.
If Jeff Bezos printed it up and was giving them out for free?
Absolutely.
I'd definitely read it.
Not even a doubt.
And would you likely do some of the stuff in the book?
I'd try to.
I would try to too.
For sure.
For sure I would. So that's what we need, Jeff Bezos.
A reasonable dude's guide
Or
And
a reasonable
dudettes.
person. A reasonable person.
Dudettes includes... No, dudes includes dudettes.
Women can be dudes as well.
Let's just say a human being.
Yeah. The
'Cause-
practical human being guide.
Obviously, I'm not going to force my dog to do this.
No.
Because I don't have a dog.
But what if it turns out that dogs
Are the reason?
are not good for climate change? And we have to kill all the dogs.
That's an Order 66 situation.
Yeah.
Star Wars reference.
Is that you mean a catch-22? Order 66? What's Order 66? Killing all the dogs?
All the Jedis.
Oh, you have to kill all the Jedis.
But the Jedis are the dogs
Yeah.
in this.
But we're just speculating until Jeff Bezos spends the $10
He,
billion.
he needs to
writing
make the reasonable person's
guide to climate change.
to climate change.
With,
Exactly.
with just a background, an explanation of how climate change is caused by regular people, and then some suggestions about what we can do on an individual basis to stem the tide. I think that would be great.
Let's get this thing
All right, Jeff
signed, sealed,
Bezos.
delivered.
Hey, if anybody knows Jeff Bezos, pass this
Yeah,
podcast
if
along to him.
anybody has his number. you know,
I think Jeff at Amazon.com is actually an email you can send stuff to. So maybe we send this podcast there and just say an idea about climate change in the subject line, and then we just shoot. He doesn't actually read it, but
his little
it's
his minions do.
His minions read it. So maybe whenever you get around to putting this segment of the video up
I'm gonna
online,
do that today.
send it to him. And
I'm
let him
sending
know.
it today.
Yeah, I think that's what we need.
Yep.
That's what's needed.
It's done.
All right. So what's the last article here?
Last article. Do you know the Murdoch family?
Is that
James Murdoch?
well? I know there's a guy.
News Corp?
Yeah. Robert, who's his dad? His dad is Murdoch as well.
Yeah, he's probably a Murdoch.
Anyways, yeah, they own Fox News. They own Fox.
They own a bunch of news things.
That's right. They're the right wing guys. They're the hardcore Republican news guys.
Where on the comment section people go nuts.
Remember when we read that one article?
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah, about how small businesses don't have enough web presence, and the guy started railing against the Democrats and Google.
Yeah.
Yeah. So James Murdoch must be
So-
the CEO's son.
Exactly.
All right.
Okay, so the title is that James Murdoch plans big bets on sustainable businesses. And primarily this article talks about like the packaging
Okay. Good.
of stuff.
I think sustainable business is a good thing to invest in. And what I especially like we were talking about things being a mixed bag, always rich is when a hardcore right-wing guy like a Republican,
Mm-hmm.
who everybody say, yeah, he's just a capitalist, he doesn't care. He doesn't care about the environment, all he cares about making money. I love when people cross over or defy the stereotype and do something, and then the other side. I'm sure Democrats will complain about this somehow down in the comment section, but or something. But I like to see when a guy who's a hardcore capitalist decides to use his money to do something that's good for the environment, kind of go against type.
Yeah.
I like to see that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
And basically, apparently this kid was or not this kid, he's way older.
yeah, he's a dude. He's an old
But-
man. He's an older guy.
But the way that like this article talks about it.
Yeah.
So he.
Oh, because he's a guy's son.
Yeah.
He's okay.
So he.
He's not a kid though.
he was like-
His dad's like 90, so
Yeah.
he's
He's
probably
way older than
he's
me.
60.
He's way
Yeah,
older.
he's
than
60.
me.
Yeah,
I don't think he's 60.
I think he's 60.
You think he's 60? Do you see this picture?
Yeah, I saw it. Oh no,
That
he's
does not look like 60.
He's in his 50s.
I think he'd make it through coronavirus.
I think he's in his 50s. Yeah, he would come out alive. All right.
Anyways, it talks about him like he was like the weird one in the family.
This article does?
Like he's a little off.
Oh man.
So and he always wanted to do certain things with the money,
Yeah.
but the family was like, nah,
No, because you're weird.
it's not happening.
Yeah.
But now that he has his own, he's kind of broken off.
Okay.
He is Mr. Murdoch now,
All right.
and he's like, I'm gonna do this whole sustainable business.
All right. That's cool. It stinks to be the weird one in the family, because then every time anybody writes an article about you, they always got to bring up the fact that you're sort of the weird one.
Yeah, the odd man out.
Even if it has nothing to do with sustainable energy or what's going on in the article, they always say,
They always tie it
Mr.
around.
Murdoch, the third son of this really famous family, has always been considered a black sheep
Yeah, there you go.
or the strange one of the family. And nobody wanted to support him, so now he's doing his own thing.
Yeah, Mr. Nell
Of National
of
Geographic.
Mr. Nell
Uh-huh.
with a K.
Oh,
K
yeah,
is
yeah,
silent.
yeah, like the death knell.
What's that? Death knell?
I think that's a sound that a bell makes when you're about to get killed by an executioner.
Wow.
So that's pretty bleak. Go ahead. Keep it going, dude. Sorry, bro. Didn't mean to go on to that. Yeah.
Mr. Nell says that he, talking about the Mr. Murdoch, the son,
Yep.
has a big bank account now, and he can put to use without the constraints that he had previously.
How did he get the money that he didn't? He didn't have any money before? How did he get his own bank account? Just from opening up this investment fund or something like that?
Well, they sold lots of their business to Disney.
Okay.
And he got a cut of it.
Oh, they did? They sold a bunch of their business to Disney. I didn't know that.
So now he's like loaded and has all this money, and he's like, now I'm free.
I'm gonna do my thing. All right. Well, that's good. So we read 2 articles. One about Jeff Bezos putting a bunch of money into fighting climate change, and then this guy who's got a bunch of money, and he's going to spend his money on sustainable business. So that seems to indicate that there is a conscious shift. People's consciousness is changing. They're starting to realize that they got to act a different way, and people are actually starting to spend money based on, because any investment that you make depends on consumers buying the final product.
True.
I mean, that's really what it comes down to, right? So if they're investing in sustainable business, that's because they think at the end game there's going to be people that are willing to buy their new sustainable products. We talked about it before. Again, in an Elon Musk interview, I heard that 100 square miles in the desert of Nevada will give you enough solar energy to power everything that happens in the United States. 100 square miles is not that much. It's really not that much out in the desert. So if we're going to be spending, if all these guys are spending money, it seems like it would be an easy thing to just completely get sustainable energy installed in the United States. Once and for all. How come no presidential candidates will be talking about that? That seems like a very straightforward thing to do that would get us off of fossil fuels.
I think they all are asked about climate change.
The presidential candidates? I would like to hear someone say what Elon Musk said, that 100 square miles of solar panels would solve our energy problem.
Yeah.
So all you got to do is figure out how much that costs and just work on that for like 10 years, and then it would be solved forever.
Yeah. I mean, the other difficulty, that you still have now is that, if that thing is 100 square miles and that thing goes down, the whole...
That's a good point. That's a fair point. But how would it go down? If the sun stopped shining? If an earthquake knocks it out or something? That would be one thing.
Earthquake. Humans like to break things.
So like some terrorists come over and take out.
Dust? How are you going to keep the dust off?
I don't know the technical details. I'm sorry. I don't know the technical details. I'm sure they could come up with something to keep dust.
The Martian.
To keep dust off the solar panels.
The Martian.
What if they could build a super beautiful, high-tech solar grid, but the dust ruined everything because they couldn't come up with a way? Couldn't a dude with a squeegee just... I think he'd probably just get a team of squeegee guys to come out there and just squeegee it up. Yeah, just get up on top of it and squeegee it down.
There you go.
Hose it down.
The world's energy problem solved by the team of squeegees.
Just like a high-pressure hose or something to just keep it clean. I feel like there's ways we could get
we could probably
keep the dust from taking down the whole energy grid. So, you got anything else to add here, Zach?
I think that's it.
All right, that's it. So that is this week's episode. This is this week's episode.
This is this week.
All right. Have a great week, everybody. Be careful. Stay away from old people so you don't get them sick, all right? And zip it up and zip it out.
Zip it out.